Yeah, I knew this was going to be a long show. So we get to
That's what she said.
power rankings as we do. I feel like at this point of the year, there's not a whole lot of things in question. Maybe a little bit more than last week. Well, let's do it. All right.
Woo, I had to dance and celebrate because I figured out you can't spell James Joseph Harbaugh without Homer.
That's impressive.
Look right, Kyle.
That's
Calm
impressive.
down.
All right, let's as we do each and every week, we look at the power rankings of the National Football League, top 10, bottom 5. We will start on the screen. EJ, who is your bottom 5?
All right. I believe the same as last week. So 28, the Raiders.
Stay on the right side. Stay on the right side.
Fucking Mike's fucking.
No, he doesn't need to look at the left side yet. The fact that he put the Raiders and we've made the optics jokes, he's done.
I literally am making the reaction to the Raiders, but now that you told me look to the right, I look to the left, and now I'm even more pissed off.
29 to Titans, 30 to Jets, 31 Jaguars, 32 Giants.
Okay.
Where do they get a load of me?
All right, we'll evaluate those in a minute.
Giants are too high.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
agree.
Yeah, they should be 33 at least.
Devin comments about how there's no Dolphins in the bottom 5. Look, Devin, the Dolphins stink, but they're not worse. They're not worse than the 5 teams that are there. Like, I know you want your team to be in the bottom 5.
I know you want the Cowboys in the bottom 5, Jim, but they're just not that bad. They just want
because they keep fucking up and winning. They were in my bottom 5 a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I love that the Cowboys can't even do this right. It's terrible.
Dallas, thank you.
It's gotten to the point where they're on the Thanksgiving broadcast going, whoa, there's
Jerry Jones was like looking at his contracts going, we can't pay a first-round pick in 4 years.
Well, no, and the announcers are sitting there
he's offered like $50,000 bonuses to anybody that can help him win a game. He's like, if anybody can do something.
But like the announcers are sitting there going, there's still a couple teams ahead of them, but this team's all of a sudden rattling some wins. And I'm like, are we really talking about the wild card right now? Like that's how bad this team is.
Here's the team when you get a good
only 3 back.
Shut up.
Right in it. They are right in it.
Maybe I'll get it right. Maybe they'll beat. Oh, they can't beat the 49ers in a playoff game because they won't be there.
No, they will.
I mean, technically, that division's still up for grabs.
The Niners could win that division mathematically.
Oh, not technically. It's definitely for grabs still.
All right, EJ, give us your top 10.
All right, top 10. Here we go. Number 10, the Chargers. Number 9, the Broncos. Number 8, the Vikings. 7, Steelers. 6, Packers. 5, Ravens. 4, Chiefs. 3, Lions. 2, Eagles. 1, Bills. So
I'm going to say anything. I'm going to sit back and let Burn have this shit.
I moved on the Lions mainly because of the injuries. I'm a little worried.
You don't know anyone that plays on that defense. How
I don't give a shit.
You can't name one guy that got hurt on that defense.
Let me Google it.
You fucking idiot.
You want to tell me that you put the Bills up there, because they blew the doors off of San Francisco. But guess what? San Francisco didn't have half of their best offensive weapons. Cool story, bro. You want to tell me that the Eagles beat Lamar Demetrius Jackson because you love him so much? Cool story, bro. The fact of the matter is this. The Lions keep finding ways to win football games.
So
doesn't matter if Yeah, but guess what? Chris Jones is still playing for the Chiefs. Aiden Hutchinson hasn't played in 6 weeks, and their defense hasn't lost a step.
I would disagree with that statement, but you're right. They haven't lost a huge step, but yeah, they've definitely.
They're a little bit more challenged than they have.
They lost another one like this past week, didn't they? Or was it the week before? They had Rodriguez or whatever who filled in for the guy who filled in for like that. They're 3 linebackers deep now at that position.
But you guys are just proving my point. They're on their 3rd fucking linebacker and they're not losing games.
No, they're on their 4th now. We haven't seen him yet.
But there's teams that are losing pieces that can't win games with backups that were in fucking training camp with them.
Top 3 or 4 is game of inches at this point now. Well, we top 3, to be honest with you. I think KC's now slipped down to tier 2. The top 3 teams right now is game of inches at this point.
In EJ's defense, the one thing he's done right that I like is he actually does have the Eagles over the Chiefs. I respect that.
Did we really glaze over the fact that Ernest EJ Christian, Eagles Jaworski himself said the Chiefs are a tier 2 team.
We didn't glaze over it. We were just letting Kyle finish his statement because I was going to get there, but
the Chiefs as a tier 2 team is just stupid. You still just refuse to acknowledge that they're a defensive team, and they're still playing like it. MVP Chris Jones has proven that time and again, and he's done it since 2 years ago when I first brought it up.
Defensive Player of the Year, Chris Jones.
Arguably, yeah.
Probably, but I'm still going to say what I say, just so in the outside change, somebody will pick somebody that's not a quarterback, like Saquon Barkley, should he deserve it. Yeah. No Eagles fan better talk any shit about me hating the Eagles this week, goddammit. But
I'll talk shit about whatever I want to talk shit about. Okay?
Facts of the case, you are a Philly fan, no doubt. But here,
suck
it. I don't get the Packers ahead of the Steelers. I don't get the Packers ahead of the Vikings. I can make an argument for not getting the Packers ahead of the Broncos. That's too far. The Chargers at 10 below the Broncos right now is kind of nutty. You're in that weird space where you have a lot of the right teams, but your order is horseshit. So yeah, go ahead, Vern.
I'll say I have the Broncos ahead of the Chargers on mine. It's solely because of the J.K. Dobbins injury.
I also have Broncos.
I will use that, but I also have the Packers.
I also love Bo Nix.
I have the Packers at 8. I have both Pittsburgh and Minnesota ahead of them. But yeah,
I'm now going to hold my phone up so I can see.
I will also tell you this. Spoiler alert: my reaction to the Raiders, because you guys are going to see mine.
Bills, Eagles, Lions, Chiefs. Oh no, I had the Packers.
I have the Raiders. I have the Raiders at 29. And I put them at 29 solely on the purpose of you have an opportunity to beat a team that's 11-1, and your center finds a way to snap the ball and hit your quarterback dead in the chest. You have to be penalized for it. The fact that you have them at 28, I felt was too high. It wasn't that. It wasn't. How were they in the bottom 5?
And here I was thinking too when you had a reaction. I thought that you were mad I had him in the bottom 5 at all. Okay.
No.
Okay. No. When you initially had the reaction, I thought you were mad I had him in the bottom 5.
No, I think the bottom 5. I think the bottom 5 has really fine-tuned itself to 4 or 5 teams, and then you have the next group that's like 3 or 4 teams that are fighting in that could end up in 28 spot. And then it's like 7 teams that are like mid, and the top 13.
Trevor getting hurt has made the Jags 31 very solidly. I'll go there.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. I think the Giants and the Jaguars, especially without having without having Trevor Lawrence, puts them there. Aaron Rodgers smoked too much ayahuasca. He's done. The Titans,
only one panelist not having the Jets at 30 is interesting.
Yeah, I'm about to ask him that question. Why, Sean?
I don't know. I mean, like, if you were going to have me list my bottom 8 or 7, the Jets are probably in there. At the moment I made this list, I knew the Giants were the worst. I knew the Jaguars, especially without Trevor Lawrence playing currently, are the second worst. And some other teams have had like wins and bursts of hope. And you're right, the Jets are tanking and falling and should probably be in my bottom 5 by now. But just at the moment I made the list, I just hated the Titans.
For the record, I'm not knocking for the record because again, for the last like 2 months we've been saying now.
I mean, these teams
the bottom of the 10 could be either 5 teams be in the bottom 5, 10 teams. So
yeah, right, and also the Patriots and Jets, because Sean, the only team that differs to his list to the rest of ours,
I have the
Patriots in, we have the Jets in. Those two teams split with each other. One is 3-9, one is 3-10. Like,
right.
I feel like it is kind of a splitting
hair. Patriots are eliminated from playoffs.
It's kind of like EJ versus a pile of trash. It's kind of where we're at right now.
So we dogged EJ. So now I'm going to ask Sean. Feel free to defend the Lions at 3 because you have them in the same spot that E-Jaws does. So I want to hear if you have a better argument than him.
Homer. Sorry.
Well, I'm not a homer. I just watching the teams play. Do I think the Lions are probably? Well, the funny thing, I say pound for pound the best team in the NFL. Like the answer is probably no, because I think if I'm looking at rosters, the Eagles probably are. But like the Lions for a while there were looking like a train on cruise control, knocking anything out of its way. They've hit a few stumbling blocks. Some of that might be the injuries. You've lost. I'm not going to say Khalif Raymond is a like an enormous loss, but I think Maybe not at the wide receiver position, but on the special teams side of the ball, he helps give them great field position. I'm watching the Lions because, ironically, I have a fantasy football league where everyone on my team is Lions. Like I own the Lions, one of 32 managers of the thing. So I've had to watch them, and I've had to fill holes on defense, and I've had to watch who's hot and who's not. And as those injuries have happened, players that were playing well and were recording like guys have had to shift and maneuver. Some of those linebackers that have filled in, they're not like backups, Mike. One of the reasons they have that is because they have the ability to rotate at the linebacker position, and now they're just rotating less. And I don't know how it's going to work out. I just think the Bills, I think Josh Allen is currently the MVP candidate. Saquon, I would love to say is the front runner, but he's clearly not. He's in the discussion. But Josh Allen, to me right now, is the MVP of the NFL. And the one thing, like my 1, 2, and 3, I'm kind of like with EJ when he said a game of inches. First of all, it's an awful cliche. Please don't ever say it again. But I couldn't fully decide. I felt like it was a time. I feel like I punished them for the near loss, the should have lost, or at least gone to overtime against the Bears, were it not for one of the worst coaching and offensive maneuvers I have ever seen at the end of a game. Like to move backwards 30 yards and then somehow not. I don't know what all happened. But someone lost their job, and deservedly so. Okay, but the Lions, for all intents and purposes, were in trouble there at the end of that game. So. And I'm punishing them a little for that. And I mean, the Bills are playing just as good a football. I think the Eagles, Bills, and Lions are the 3 teams right now that I think are your Super Bowl contenders. Obviously, the Chiefs still are. I think a couple of these teams are too, but. Those are the 3 front runners for me. And my bottom 3, the Ravens, Broncos, Chargers, I felt the same way, where I didn't really know what order to put them in. I think the Broncos are above the Chargers because of some injuries, but also because I have a love affair with Bo Nix right now. So he's just holding out that way. And I couldn't know where to put the Ravens. I really didn't. I was like, I should punish them, but I shouldn't. And I don't know. We clearly all think these are the 10 best teams, right? Like, I don't see any differences, right? So, like, everyone's going to have a difference of opinion. I'm going to see things a little bit different. The Bills are hopefully going to get healthier here, and Amari Cooper is going to get a little healthier, and they should get Keon Coleman back here in the next week or two. And then I'll look like I was just ahead of the game. But
yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know that I'm ready to buy in on like this Lions slip.
And you know what? If the Lions come in and just shut the Packers down, like some of you think they're gonna, they'll probably jump back ahead of the 2 of us.
Well, I mean, let's be real. There's 2 weeks. They play Green Bay this week. They play Buffalo next week. Here it is. Honestly, I wouldn't have moved them until after the Buffalo game because I think that's the first real test.
Yeah, but see now they got me talking. Now I'm trending. See, I'm trending now because I did it first.
I don't think that's how that works. Eagles Jaworski, because his rankings went up first.
They did. How awful. Looks like
I think for all the shit talk we're throwing at these things, I want to commend each and every single member of the committee for not putting the frauds in their top 10. No, I don't mean Atlanta. I mean Houston.
Oh yeah,
they have.
Yeah,
they have.
And I don't even hate Houston, but they're a middle of the pack team. They're not as good as any of these 10.
I didn't hate them after their garbage ass defense of that hit on Trevor Lawrence, as if they're the fucking victims. But yeah.
In my one final point for me in relation to the Lions, like I don't know that I'm ready to like buy in on like this that they're slipping. I mean, in the last 6 weeks, they've had 2 games that were less than 10-point wins. One, again, we make fun of how silly he is, and rightly so. But these divisional games sometimes end up closer than they belong. The Lions also hadn't won on Thanksgiving for almost a decade.
But if you go back and you watch my lists, and I can't defend it. I don't even know what the pattern or the formula.
That's fine, but hold on. But the other one was a game against the Texans where Jared Goff threw 5 of his 9 interceptions on the season, and they still won. Otherwise, they're doing exactly what they need to do. 24-6 over the Colts, 52-6 over the Jags, 24-14 over the Packers, 52-14 over the Titans. a close win over the Vikings. You know, like I don't know. I'm not buying in on this Lions slip here again.
All I'm
We're gonna
saying is
find
my
out over
list
the next 2
tends to
weeks.
be very volatile.
Mine was more the injuries.
Mine's just me being volatile. Like if you've noticed, like the Eagles have had a bad game here, there, and I've punished them, and I've had teams that like had a good one, and I've rewarded. Like I don't ever move them super far, but I tend to be like, well, I'm seeing this right this moment, and I'm going to give them a chance to fix it, and eventually it settles back out. But
we keep talking about the Lions needing a get right again. I have to cite the Packers.
No
literally,
one except EJ has said that.
Well, I know he's said it, but others have mentioned it to make fun of him. Hear what I'm saying. But the punchline being this: the Packers needed a literal missed field goal at the end to survive the Bears themselves. What the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, I think the Packers may just settle this for me and just make me look like a week ahead of the game. But
you picked it.
But hey, that's one of your 2 teams in the NFC title game, right, EJ?
He's got it. Packers Saints.
So if the Buccaneers win this week, and I put them at like
South.
And I put them at like 5, and I sell you guys the fact that they beat the number 1 and number 3 teams in the power rankings. Does that make me a qualified member to be eligible to be part of the college football playoff?
Yeah, I think so.
Year?
Yeah,
I think that's all they do.
I'm trying to put a resume together here, guys. All right, they beat the Eagles and the Lions. I'm just trying to put a good resume together here so I can send it away so that we can actually have some.
Yes, thank you, SEC haters and Notre Dame homers. Your point has been heard.
By the end of the season, the Buccaneers are going to creep in here at 10 or 9. They just got to rattle off these.
Fighting Irish National Championship. You got it, boys.
I mean, they're probably going to end up being 7 because I'm going to find a way to take.
I think you're the only one that has said that on this show at all.
They're going to win the South.
That's the joke. It's just like I'm the one who criticizes Oregon and came up with quack, motherfucker. It's called talent.
All right. Any other thoughts on the rankings, the power rankings? All right.